That's why it's like really fun to talk to you, because I could say to gay guys and they're like, yeah, of course, totally. I don't even have to finish that sentence. They know where I'm going with it. But I never have this conversation with straight guys.
One is gay, one is straight, and the bedroom ain't the only place with magic they make.
On this episode of
That's Gay,
That's Straight,
Devin and Aaron go into great detail on the sub-dom relationship in gays and straights. Viewer discretion is advised, but not encouraged.
I want what those big dominant guys do. I want that to be done to me, but at the same time, I'm not attracted to them at all. I want nothing to do with them. Like when I watch porn and it ends and I like think about the two people in the video, like I want to spend all day with the bottom. Like I don't want to look at the top. Like I don't care what I'm not physically attracted to him. I don't want to have a conversation with him. I don't care what he has to say. I find nothing about him interesting. But like the like little bottom who's like, oh yeah, daddy, like I want to talk to him all day. So like I don't know, like maybe I want like someone who's I think, like I haven't figured it out yet, but I think my perfect
I have
type,
a theory.
Okay, well, I think my perfect type would be a little like bottom who like maybe usually bottoms, but every now and then can sort of fulfill that fantasy and be really dominant and top me.
Let me say my one theory with you.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
this gets really interesting. So when you were describing that violence that you were attracted to, that dominance
Which
that
is
you were
bad,
attracted
but, like,
to,
okay, yeah, keep going.
every woman loves that. I think pretty much every woman loves that. In me coming out of the closet as a more masculine version of myself, not trying to be the always ironic, never approaching women, being bashful, making fun of people who put themselves out there. That's what society kind of wants us to be. But when you explode out of that and you're like, no, I'm the dominant man on a mission that's going to fucking change the world. It's incredibly exciting, but it's also scary. And women will reward you for coming out.
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
What?
Just leave me alone.
Like the moment, for example, if I take if I'm making out with somebody and I pick them up and carry them to their bed, or if I just walk in the room and I say, sit down on the bed, and I just take a slight dominance, it's like, they're like, thank you for leading this dance a little bit, because that's when I enjoy it the most. You're just sort of embracing this classic masculine ideal, and I think that can be as profound as coming out of the closet and declaring your gay identity.
4 hours now, and Tom Cruise still will not come out of the closet.
How brave of you.
So, but you're right, it's not brave.
It's like straight culture or whatever. People are like talk about sex in general and stuff like a lot less.
So my theory with you is
yeah.
maybe when you're looking at these guys as the doms in porn, maybe part of you is like, I like the bottom, but maybe I need to become more of that dom guy.
No.
Maybe, just maybe. Maybe there's a little bit of that in you that wants to take charge.
No.
Because you are a take charge kind of guy in a lot of other areas of life. That's my theory.
Interesting that you say that, because it's wrong. You're wrong. I don't want that. I because like I constantly feel the pressure. Like I actually had like I had an experience with like a guy who was a bottom. He thought, because of the way I dress and stuff, he thought I was a bottom, and he thought, I was like, yeah, let's hang out, and he thought it was gonna be just like a friends thing, and he's like, yes, sis, let's get fucked up and find men and shit. And then I told him over the phone, like, he was like, what's your type? And I'm like, honestly, you're my type. And then he was like, wait, what? And the whole dynamic changed because he realized that. But then, so I almost to this day wish I never told him that he was my type, because ever since then, he like kept trying to, he's really attracted to like straight type of guys. So he kept trying to make me act more masculine and dominant and straight because that's what he liked. And I hated it. I was like, I realized after why I hated it so much, because like I was in the closet for 27 years. I never want to be put back in that where like I feel like I have to act a certain way to please someone else. Yeah, I like topping and I love twinks and I love hanging out with them. Like, but I want to be just as twinky as them. Like I want like I almost this is a weird thing that I've made this joke a lot, but I'm like a bottom lesbian. Like I'm like a bottom who wants another bottom. I want to find that like bottom best friend, but then we're like, wait a second, maybe we don't even need a man. We just have us like take turns topping each other. Like That's what I think I am. So,
Dude, okay, I got another theory. Okay. Maybe I am secretly a bottom lesbian like you, because I find that I'm attracted to bottoms as well. We'll call them subs. Just to differentiate. I'm attracted to subs as well. Can you see me now? It's going on my side.
No, just wait a second.
What if I'm secretly a bottom who's attracted to bottoms, aka a bottom lesbian? And I'll call them subs just to differentiate in the straight world. I'm always attracted to a submissive woman. And when I'm doing that dominant stuff, I'm channeling like a real part of me, like the animal part of me. The part of me that just wants to hunt and gather and grow and succeed and protect. I can channel that, but it's not. I was also the kid who dressed up and loves conversations and being silly and weird and diffusing threats. So I'm channeling one part of me that isn't the whole story of me, mostly for the woman's orgasm. Like, because you see, like, they love that.
Yeah.
But eventually, when I get close enough with a woman, there comes a moment when I'm kind of like, I want you to dom a little bit. You know what I mean? I want you to come in here and like a few of my most destructive relationships that were nonetheless explosively sexual and awesome felt like two doms coming head to head, like in the octagon, like literally like a wrestling match where it's like, let's see who the real dom is. And that was so fun for me. So now that I'm in this kind of classic polarized, very feminine girl, very masculine man dynamic, I find myself struggling not to get bored and to recognize what a great potential there is there. And I find myself encouraging her to like grab my balls a little bit. You know what I mean? Show me you're in charge. So the perfect type for us is like on the Venn diagram of dom sub, like they're just on the edge of submissive, where it's like a real challenge to make them a sub. And then because they're always wrestling back, eventually you get tired and you're like, all right, you take over, and they're handcuffing you and putting stuff up your butt and all that great stuff. I will gravitate towards, of course, I'm the dominant one, I'm in control, like that. That's a good deal. But it gets boring after a while because it doesn't push you at all. And it's like, what are you learning in all these hours you're sort of being fawned over?
I feel the same way.
I feel like maybe you and I are closer than I thought.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a switch. Like in terms of dom and sub, switch means like you can go either way, switch back and forth. But
well, that's cool. You should explore your Damian. I'm sure it's in there.
I mean, kind of.
Take
I
control.
already have, but I don't like. The thing is, like, the type of guys I usually get with, like, hang out with, do sexual stuff with, like, they're almost always these, like, more submissive types. So I'm always being the dominant one. Like, what I need to explore is the submissive side.
Who would be the guy I would let dom me? And that's such an uncomfortable concept for me even to entertain. But I got a few lists. John T. from Insanity, and the guy, not Viggo Mortensen, but he's kind of like him.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Anyway, there's a couple, and they're all very masculine men. I don't entertain it that much, but I do hold an opening for, like, if there's a man who's so talented and astounding and such a mentor and such, like, just sort of a grizzled, older, physical version of me, yeah, I want him to hold me a little bit, probably. If it's on the table. I don't know. All right. Well, that's one of the most important topics we could ever cover. The top-bottom, sub-dom dynamic. And I think we learned something. This is the first time I've really considered that maybe I want to be a bottom lesbian with somebody who can also venture into the top world with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and dom
I
me a
want
little
someone
bit.
that can also do that. That can, like, switch and, like my ex and I, we would, like, take turns all the time where we would, like, learn, like, we would take turns dominating each other, basically. Like, we would learn what the other person wants and then do that. And then, another thing I was going to say is when I'm being dom or whatever and, like, the guys like it, I am just doing to them what I wish someone would do to me. Like, so it's really just, like, that's what I'm doing the whole time. Like, I really want someone to do that to me. Like, I do whatever I love or wish people would do to me.
So you are a top to bottoms, but you wish you could be a bottom with them being a top. or somebody else being a top, but you've forbidden that idea. That's a complicated little pretzel.
Yeah, it's everybody. Really weird.
Everybody's sexuality is a pretzel, I think.
I think the best thing for me, because here's the thing: like, I want to bottom. I've never bottomed before, by the way, but I want to. But I also think it's one of those things where, like, in theory I like it, but in actuality it's not something I'm going to do or even want to do all the time. It's just like this sort of deep feeling within me that I need to fulfill. But on, like, a general day-to-day type of thing, I'm more attracted to, like, butts. I more, like, want to do that. And I want someone to just occasionally just, like, fulfill that weird little insane desire. So I think I think I'm the same way.
Yeah. And literally, it's like when I've had a girl who will use a little dildo on you. You know, you get it's happened. It gets a little crazy, a little prostate. Hey, come over here. God bless her soul. You know, she gave me the experience, and it was kind of like taking mushrooms. Like, wow. I had an experience. It changed the way I look at things a little bit. Okay. But then once I was done, I was like, I don't need to take mushrooms tomorrow. I don't even need to take them next month. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm good for a while.
Yeah. That's how I feel. So, but the thing is, it's a very strong desire. And in my head, I want that every night. Like, I have fantasies of, like, literally being in a cage and having someone, like, fucking, like, I'm a super sub. Like, I have that super sub side to me where I literally want them to just fuck me as hard as they can, no safe word, every night. I'm just their, like, complete, like, sub, like, because any gay guy listening to this is like, yes, of course, I get you. But straight guys are like, whoa, really? But yeah, so I want that, but when that translates from fantasy to reality, the reality of that is what I really want is to just maybe bottom once a month, you know, and I can fantasize about being a sex slave while they're topping me, but I don't actually want to be a sex slave. It's just this very strong fantasy. But I mean, it's so complicated, and a lot of people, like, sometimes they'll change too, like, even from, like, day to day of what they want. And definitely me, like, I'll have days where I feel like another weird thing with me recently I've noticed is I've been trying to figure out what spurs it. I'll have days or weeks or even months where I go around feeling like a bottom. And I'm not even saying I've never bottomed, so I'm not even saying I do it more. I'm just saying, like, there are periods of time in my life, and they're usually really happy, like, where I go around wearing the shortest shorts, my hair's always dyed, I'm, like, singing, I'm, like, rapping women rap songs, like, you know, like Megan Thee Stallion.
And I would consider this sort of feminine. Yes, and I'm a very feminine guy, too. I like feeling like... It's hard to say feminine because men in tribes do this all the time, like peacocking, showing off. But no, it's hard to classify it.
I'm, like, putting on women's lotion, women's clothes. Like, I'm just trying to be, like, the most feminine guy. But then there are times when, like, right now I'm in more of, I guess, not masculine, but I'm more of, like, a top type of situation right now. I think I need to feel safe before I feel like I'm able to be the stereotypical bottom, like, more feminine one. And when there's shit in my life that's not figured out, like, I feel like I need to, like, get my apartment ready, like, go to the doctor. Like, there's a lot of shit happening with me right now. Like, my apartment's all fucked up. I got a mattress on the floor. So I feel like, and this is where I say it might be offensive, but I feel like I need to be this, like, more stereotypical man and, like, take care of myself. I need to, like, be the man version to take care of myself and, like, get all my shit figured out. And then when I feel like, okay, I've got this base level figured out, like, I've got my life down to a system, like, my apartment's clean, my health is good, I feel safe to just have fun. For me to just be, like, a fun little forgetful, like, pixie boy bottom. I haven't even told anyone that before. Those are the weird thoughts going inside my head all day.
Maybe that comfortable place you're describing is what David Bowie and Mick Jagger felt in that moment when they were just like, all of my money is taken care of. The whole world loves me. I feel utterly safe and secure. David Bowie, would you like to experiment with each other?
Wait. On that note, I've noticed another thing with that theory is places that are more rich, like, I've noticed this through going on Grindr in different neighborhoods. The places, I lived in a really poor neighborhood in New York, Bensonhurst, and then moved to a really much more upscale, rich neighborhood, Sunnyside. And in Bensonhurst, there were so many tops and not that many bottoms. In Sunnyside, everyone was a bottom. So in the people that are more rich and less like stressed out and probably feel more safe, I feel like there's more of a chance they're going to be more bottoms. And there's so many things that goes into that. I'm sure that's not the only factor. Like, I don't know, but that's just a thing I noticed, that there were more bottoms in richer neighborhoods.
It's almost like, that's brilliant. It's almost like you're so in control that you can let yourself be out of control.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the nature.
Exactly.
This is the nature of the rape fantasy for women. It's like, I'm not actually trying to get raped. What I want is to trust a man so much that he can act out the thrill of being thrown around like you're in a wave, while I know deep down I'm totally secure and safe.
That's so when
it's proving how safe you are.
When I think about being dominated, it's the same thing. What really turns me on, which is why I hate hookups so much, because it's not about the physical stuff they're doing. What really, at the end of the day, turns me on is the connection, and what I like about the domination that turns me on so much is having someone that you're that close to, that you feel comfortable them making you your fucking sex slave. You know what I mean? Like, comfortable that at the end of the day they don't. That's an insane thing to have a person do to you, so you must be that close. But at the same time, people do it all the time with strangers.
But like, as a man, especially as a straight man, I cannot be handled the way a gay man handles another gay man. I need to be handled like a lady. Like, straight up. I cannot be, you cannot go, now that I got you here, whack, and like dive into all that. I need to be inaugurated into it. So there's no way I'm going to hook up with a guy, because every time one of these, I had a guy come up to me, he's like, I'll lick your asshole in the bathroom right now, no questions asked. I was like, strong first offer. Amazingly strong.
Oh my God.
Wow. I mean, and he's like, I'll suck your dick. I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm not interested, but you're killing it with the offers. And the reason I knew it is because I was like, what would you really do? He was like, honestly, like, we'd start out that way, but then I'd fucking like take you and like smack you and like and he was like, he had all these weird fantasies, and I was like, yeah, no, like, you would get carried away for sure.
See,
guys can't be trusted.
That's the difference between you and me, because I hear that you're able to differentiate, like, yeah, that's a fantasy, I don't really want to do that. But me, if someone said that to me, at least back in the day, in my hookup phase, I would be like, yes, that sounds amazing, I'm sure I'll love it, but there's a disconnect versus when it actually happens, it's awkward and bad and weird, and I'm like, get the fuck out of my apartment, what the fuck am I doing? So I've slowly gotten better at like differentiating what sounds hot in theory versus how it's going to play out in real life. Because I've been there where I do say yes, and I do have someone like slapping me and like degrading me, and I'm like, I actually don't like this. And also, like, you like the idea, but you don't like the action of it. Yeah. Especially, I might even like the action, but just not with a stranger, because then it feels awkward.
Yeah, build up to that. Guys, gals, build up.
Yeah,
that's exactly a good takeaway.
Gays will just go from 0 to 100 immediately. And
that's the problem with guys in general.
It's bad.
You want the desire to always be, not in balance, but in negotiation. It's like a dance, okay? Would you grab somebody and just like swing them around and do swing dancing right away? That's the equivalent of what a lot of people try to do with sex. Right. Straight to like hardcore choreography.
Hardcore choreography.
No.
By the way, this is so on brand for Devin that you think of like sex as choreography.
Try to be like a dance partner. Either you're being led a little bit or you're leading a little bit. Yeah. And it's not a lot. It's not swinging them around. It's like, oh, where do you want to comfortably want to go? What if we went in this direction? Oh, okay, you like that? Then we're going to continue going there. And now we're going this way. And so I just think a lot of people would be more open to all sorts of sexual experiences if the person registered how much the desire is on both sides and met them where they are and like push them a little bit instead of boom, dildo on your ass.
Yeah. I still go back to my theory of gays are more horny, because I know there are a lot of gay guys, myself definitely included, that like, I want that slow dance, but I'll be talking to a guy for 2 seconds, and the second he mentions cuddling, if he mentions he's a big spoon, it's over. That's all I'm thinking about. Once two gays get into how we're going to fuck each other, that's game over.
Dude, it's a problem with the straights too. Yeah. Like, straight up. Like, people put way too much emphasis into fucking. Even if they're not fucking, they're jerking off to porn. Like, our culture puts sex on this pedestal that I do think gets in the way of genuine connection and like a broader connection where sex is a part of it.
That leads me.
I feel objectified sometimes.
Yes.
You know, like, and I definitely feel like I've objectified people. So I mean, we could all stand to slow down the fucking libido a little bit.
Wait,
and
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
you know, like, go back to old school courting.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back.
All right, go to the bathroom. I want to make sure this is still on. I think it's unique that this conversation is even happening.
Yeah,
I talk with everybody. Like, I'll talk with Christians. I'll talk with, you know, gay guys in West Hollywood. I'll talk with Armenians in Glendale. We'll talk with cops. We'll talk with protesters. We'll talk with everybody. And I especially love talking about sex with gay men. I think it's my favorite subject. If you all like this, subscribe for more content. Check out Aaron's channel. Aaron's a film nerd. Team Friendship on YouTube. And we're going to do more. Give us ideas for future topics if you have one. What do you want a gay guy and a straight guy to talk about? Because we're going to get into it.
Follow me on Twitter at Captain Gayboy, spelt normally.
At Captain Gayboy on Twitter for Aaron. I'm at Devin Green. Thank you. Wait, how do we end this? Didn't we have an ending?
I know we don't have an outro.
Thank you all for watching.
That's gay.
That's straight. See you next time.
Bye. See you next time.
Perfect.
Gotta take my headphones out too.
Audio on. Okay.
One is gay, one is straight, and the better man